And at guard from Iowa, wearing number 22, Caitlin Clark.
Some athletes are solid. Some hit elite status. But once in a long while, one shows up who flips the whole setup. Not just the scoreboard, but the business, the culture, and the money flow tied to the game. These are the ones who bend TV schedules, force front offices to rethink their playbook, and spark debates way beyond wins and losses. Their impact goes deeper than highlights or merch. It reshapes how the sport moves and how people talk about it. You do not need to skate to know Tony Hawk. You do not have to watch track to recognize Usain Bolt. Ask someone who barely pays attention to golf to name a golfer, and they will still say Tiger Woods without hesitation. That level of fame is not just about domination. It is about reach. These athletes pulled in people who were never part of the crowd before. That is exactly what is happening right now in women's basketball.
And filed outside in droves, getting ready at Carver Hawkeye Arena, and watch parties all around Iowa City. Everybody wants to catch a glimpse of Iowa's favorite daughter, Caitlin Clark, returning home. Fans of all ages ready to celebrate a Hawkeye fever here in Iowa.
The WNBA did not simply pick up a star. It picked up a force that shifts gravity in the league. Her name is Caitlin Clark, and whether fans ride with her, side-eye her, or feel torn about how fast she blew up, the reality is clear. The league operates on a different rhythm now because she is here, and everything around it is adjusting in real time. For nearly 30 years, the WNBA stayed in grind mode. It fought to be respected. It fought for real TV slots. It fought for money, marketing, and space in a crowded sports world. Most of all, it fought the constant idea that women's basketball had to explain itself just to exist. Then Caitlin Clark walked in, and the conversation flipped. The league no longer had to beg for attention or sell people on why it mattered. Viewers who had never given women's basketball a second thought did not tune in out of charity or routine. They tuned in because it felt like must-see television. That difference matters. Obligation brings quick bumps. Curiosity builds real habits.
And she'll take the first three-pointer and knock it down and treat the fans to that. Sabrina Ionescu. Here's Caitlin Clark driving. She's got the first 5 points. Wow. 7-0. What a start.
And what a pep to their step right now.
Caitlin Clark, 13 points. Pocket pass to Aaliyah Boston. Those two keep getting better and better.
Whenever a star rises this fast, friction is guaranteed. Some fans felt the spotlight skipped over other elite players. Some athletes felt years of work were getting drowned out. Critics started talking slick, saying the media was propping up one player to rescue the league. The question spread fast. Is Caitlin Clark really that dominant, or is the WNBA exaggerating her importance for survival? That question was not wild at first, but by 2025, the argument stopped being theoretical and turned into straight numbers. Clark's 2024 NCAA championship game pulled nearly 19 million viewers. That blew past every women's basketball record, cleared multiple men's tournament benchmarks, and even topped recent NBA Finals games. Big spikes happened, though. What stunned league executives was what came next. The audience did not disappear. Her WNBA debut became the most-watched game in ESPN WNBA history. Instead of snapping back to normal averages, ratings stayed high through the end of the 2024 season and rolled into 2025. Games featuring Clark made up most of the million-viewer broadcasts. Indiana Fever matchups ruled national ratings no matter who they played. Road games with Clark outperformed home games led by long-established powerhouse teams. That is not hype. That is a shift in how fans behave and how the league now functions. By 2025, total attendance pushed past the WNBA's original 1997 launch numbers. Post-COVID recovery did not just stabilize, it sped up faster than projected expansion models. Entire markets that once felt shaky suddenly became real business conversations instead of hopeful dreams. Attendance does not move because of slogans or ad campaigns. It moves because people believe. And that belief showed up in seats, not just online.
people that you were friends with, coached by here. Just the entirety of that experience. What did this mean to you?
I think it's hard to put into words like what exactly it means to me. It's almost overwhelming to a point. Like, I'm just very, very thankful to be able to come back to a place that continues to support me, and it's just fun to come back here and like kind of feel like you're in college again in a way. But also it was a little weird like going in the locker room, but I don't know, something about this gym like just makes me play well. A lot of gratitude, and just these are the moments that like you never take for granted and you kind of just want to stay in for forever.
Now take away the headlines. Cut out the social media noise and the endless arguments. What Caitlin Clark did in her rookie season was not just strong for a newcomer. It was disruptive on a historical level. She broke the league's single-season assist record. She posted the first rookie triple-double in WNBA history. She became the first rookie in more than 10 years to earn first-team All-WNBA honors. On top of that, she directly generated over 45% of her team's total offense, a workload only a small group of players in modern basketball history have ever handled. Men or women, very few players carry that kind of responsibility. She did it immediately. No slow ramp-up, no grace period. Defenses adjusted fast. Physicality went up. Pressure intensified. Schemes got tighter. None of it slowed her down. This is where the debate stops feeling emotional and starts feeling technical. Clark's average three-point attempt sits around 28 feet. That is deeper than the range most high-volume NBA shooters operate from. WNBA defensive coverage models are not built for that distance. It stretches nearly 6 feet beyond the official line, and when one player pulls defenders that far out, help hesitates. Rotations arrive late. Passing lanes open. Secondary scorers start eating. Clark does not just put up points. She forces defensive systems to break and rethink their entire structure. That is not flair or aesthetics. That is influence reshaping the game in real time. The WNBA has never lacked talent. It has always had stars, and it has always had legends. The difference has never been greatness. It has been timing. Back in the late 1970s, the NBA hit a wall. Ratings were sliding, money was tight. Some finals games were literally pushed to tape delay. The league did not need better players. It needed a story people actually cared about. That changed when two players stepped in from a college rivalry that already had the country locked in. They did more than win titles. They raised the ceiling of what the league could be. Caitlin Clark is not a one-to-one comparison to that era, and she does not need to be. When you look at timing, leverage, and audience pull, the parallel is hard to ignore. Clark's rise did not just elevate her own profile. It unlocked momentum the league had been chasing for decades. By 2025, endorsement opportunities expanded across rosters. League-wide charter flights became standard instead of controversial. Franchise valuations stopped feeling hypothetical. Broadcast negotiations shifted in tone and confidence. For the first time, the discussion was not about whether the WNBA deserved investment. It was about how much growth it could realistically absorb without breaking. That shift carries more weight than any box score or stat line. One of the clearest signs of Clark's impact is not found in ratings charts. It shows up in how the media treats the league. Coverage moved away from legitimacy debates and survival framing. The focus turned to rivalries, playoff races, coaching choices, and roster construction. That is how established leagues are discussed. Clark did not build all of this by herself, but she applied pressure at the right moment and forced the door open. And once it opened, the entire league walked through. This is where the story starts to feel uncomfortable. Growth brings leverage. Leverage brings tension. The Players Association has been clear about its position. Revenue sharing has to improve. Salaries have to go up. Working conditions have to catch up with the league's new reality. A possible work stoppage in 2026 is no longer just talk behind closed doors. It is a real scenario on the table, and here is the paradox the league now faces. Caitlin Clark is both the WNBA's biggest economic engine and the pressure point magnifying labor demands. Without her, a strike hurts. With her, the consequences multiply fast. If Clark enters 2026 healthy, fully established, and still driving sustained fan engagement, the math changes completely. The league is no longer operating from scarcity or survival mode. It is operating from momentum. Momentum shifts negotiations. Sponsors do not want dead air. Broadcasters do not want empty windows. Fans do not want their new routine interrupted. The price of stopping play has never been higher. There are two clear paths forward. One option is a work stoppage that freezes growth. Casual fans drift away. Momentum cools. The league survives, but it loses speed and leverage it may not get back easily. The other option is adaptation. Revenue sharing improves. Salary floors rise. Infrastructure modernizes. Not just because players demand it, but because the upside is now impossible to ignore. The harsh truth about Caitlin Clark is not that she is overhyped. It is that the league was not prepared for the scale of change she triggered. She did not simply meet expectations. She reset the definition of what success looks like at this level. Once that line moves, there is no rewinding it. The WNBA is no longer asking for attention. It is figuring out how to manage what comes with being watched. What comes next is the part no league can control once the switch flips. Attention rewires expectations. Fans do not just want access anymore. They want transparency, consistency, and stakes that feel real. Casual viewers who showed up for Caitlin Clark are now learning team identities, tracking standings, arguing rotations, and questioning front office decisions. That shift is quiet but dangerous for any league that is not structurally ready for it. Because once fans invest emotionally, patience shrinks. Scheduling missteps get louder reactions. Officiating debates get sharper. Competitive balance gets scrutinized. The margin for error tightens fast. The WNBA is now being judged like an established product, not a developing one, and that change does not come with grace periods. Clark accelerated the timeline. Years of gradual growth got compressed into seasons. Systems that were designed to scale slowly are now under stress tests they were never built for. Expansion talks, roster depth, travel logistics, player health, media obligations, all of it is hitting at once. This is what real growth pressure looks like. The key question is no longer whether the audience will stay. The question is whether the league can evolve at the same speed as its attention, because momentum is not permanent. It demands constant reinforcement. Fans who feel invested will not quietly disengage. They will notice every gap. Caitlin Clark did not just bring viewers. She brought expectations that cannot be undone. And expectations force accountability. The league has crossed a line where excuses sound smaller, timelines feel shorter, and decisions carry heavier consequences. That is the price of relevance. Once you reach this level, there is no hiding behind potential or promises. Every move matters now. There is also a quiet shift happening inside locker rooms across the league. When the spotlight grows, standards change. Preparation tightens. Accountability sharpens. Players are no longer competing just for wins or contracts. They are competing under a microscope that did not exist a few seasons ago. Film sessions get longer. Scouting reports get deeper. Every mistake travels faster than it used to. This is where real separation starts. Some teams rise with the moment. Others get exposed by it. Depth matters more. Coaching decisions feel heavier. Development can no longer hide behind time or patience. The league is moving too fast for that now. Clark's presence has raised the floor and the ceiling at the same time. Opponents do not just game plan for her. They game plan knowing millions are watching. That pressure spills outward. Role players get tested. Rotations get questioned. Bench production suddenly matters in national conversations. You can see it in how defenses react. Traps come quicker. Physicality increases earlier. Adjustments happen mid-quarter instead of halftime. This is not personal. It is survival. The league is learning, in real time, how to operate at a higher speed. What makes this moment fragile is that growth does not spread evenly. Some franchises are built to absorb attention. Others are scrambling to catch up. That imbalance creates tension, but it also forces evolution. This is how leagues mature. Not through comfort, but through pressure. The WNBA has entered a phase where every weakness gets revealed quickly. And once that happens, improvement is no longer optional. This moment is bigger than one season and bigger than one player. The WNBA crossed a line it cannot uncross. Attention arrived, expectations followed, pressure locked in. From this point forward, every decision carries weight. Every delay costs something. Every misstep is noticed. The league is no longer being evaluated on potential. It is being judged on execution. Caitlin Clark did not create every change, but she sped everything up. She collapsed timelines. She forced conversations that were once easy to postpone. And now the league has to move with the same urgency its audience brings every night. Growth without structure turns fragile fast. This is the part people miss. Stardom is not the finish line. It is the stress test. It exposes what is ready and what is not. The WNBA is strong enough to survive this moment. The real question is whether it is bold enough to maximize it. Because fans are no longer peeking in. They are locked in. They are arguing calls, tracking cap space, debating rotations, and following storylines week to week. That is real investment. And real investment demands honesty, ambition, and follow-through. This saga is still unfolding. The power shifts are ongoing. The negotiations, the growth, the tension, none of it is settled. What happens next will define the league for the next decade, not the last one. And if you want to stay ahead of where this is actually going, not the polished headlines, but the real pressure points behind the scenes, that is exactly what Courtside Leaks is built for. This is not just coverage, it is context, and the story is far from over.